Oh, hi. Didn't see you there. Ron Weasley sucks. This may be a hot take, but every time I rewatch the Harry Potter movies, I'm reminded that Ron Weasley is not an entirely great dude. He can be a decent friend at times, but his morality is often questionable. He's also a whiny little bitch. Granted, I did grow up with a crush on Emma Watson, so maybe that added to my resentment. Honestly, even setting that aside, I stand by what I'm about to say. By the end of this video, you'll either agree with me or be pissed off. Hopefully the first one. So let's take a look at Ron Weasley's villain arc throughout this franchise. From the start, Ron's just a dumb kid living in the Wizarding World's version of Section 8 housing. He's a decent friend to Harry and works fine as comedic relief, but he also gets himself into so much bullshit. For the first 3 movies, he's always getting injured or being an asshole or nearly dying. Which, come to think of it, that's pretty much all he does in the first 3 movies. To his credit, he does help introduce us to the Wizarding World through Harry's eyes, but his fear of, well, everything gets annoying really fast. And maybe I'm just a hater. Then we get to Chamber of Secrets, where he's still a good friend who helps Harry out, but he's also still a bitch. Which is honestly the perfect metaphor for his entire existence. Every time he tries to help, it backfires. And what I really don't understand is his fear of spiders. Look, I get it, we all have phobias, but you go to a school where death lurks around every corner. Ghosts are popping out of walls, giant snakes live in the plumbing, there's even ghosts that will watch you take a shit, and you're scared of spiders.
Wait, spiders? Why couldn't we follow the butterflies?
Gay!
By the time we hit Prisoner of Azkaban, we see that some of the characters are actually growing up a little bit. Harry's dealing with trauma, Hermione's becoming more resilient, and Ron is still whining, still clueless, still managing to injure himself. I'll cut him some slack because this movie is lighter in tone and fits into more of the PG setting, but hopefully by the next one, he'll have a big glow up. Year 4 will be his year.
Piss off.
This is when Ron Weasley should have died. Look, puberty's rough. It's normal for friends to fight over dumb stuff at that age. But Ron takes it to another level. The second Harry's name comes out of the Goblet of Fire, Ron turns into the world's pettiest hater. He's mad that Harry's competing in the Wizard Olympics and he thinks Harry lied about it. And it's just so stupid. You've seen your friend almost die every school year so far. You really think he wants to fight dragons for fun? Ron spends the first half of this movie sulking, throwing hissy fits, and being a jealous little bitch. Meanwhile, I'm sitting there in the theater, 10 years old, furious that Hermione's still obsessed with this dude. When he sees Hermione all happy and having the night of her life, he gets mad about it, treats her like shit, and acts like something's wrong with her. Even with a deeper voice, he still comes off as this whiny character that doesn't shut up, complains all the time, and has a stupid haircut. Yeah, I'm a hater. And by the end of the movie, Voldemort comes back, Cedric dies and goes on to play Batman, and everything goes to hell. So we reach the end of this very depressing school year, everyone's grieving over this loss, and Ron has the audacity to say,
Do you think we'll ever just have a quiet year at Hogwarts?
"You motherfucker." Then we get to Order of the Phoenix. Suddenly Ron's acting like a real character again. It's almost like they knew that people were starting to hate Ron Weasley, so they just went all in on this one to try to make him look like a good person. He's actually pretty tolerable here. I noticed that in this one, he comes off as useful. He has moments of comedic relief that I actually really liked in this one.
Why? Why? Because you know who's back, you tosspot.
And overall, I thought, you know what, maybe this character is a good guy. Maybe I've just been a hater, and Ron Weasley's been a great character all along. Then we reach Half-Blood Prince. Never mind, he still sucks. In this one, we get idiot boyfriend Ron. He joins the Quidditch team, scores once, and thinks he's the Wizarding World's Tom Brady. Then he starts dating that, wizard that started an OnlyFans. And he's always so clueless around the friend that's always liked him. I don't know, he's just a dumbass in this one. And growing up watching this character be obsessed with him all the time, it hurt my soul. It was like watching a supermodel fall for a guy who eats Lunchables for dinner. Anyway, Ron gets roofied and almost overdoses, but Harry finds a way to save him, and he unfortunately survives. And then we have to watch this uncomfortable scene where he has a wet dream about Hermione, and she's all for it. I don't really understand this relationship. And then we reach Deathly Hallows Part 1 and 2. For some reason, Ron Weasley's not just a dumbass anymore, he's a homicidal maniac. In the scene where they encounter Death Eaters at a coffee shop, his first idea is to kill the knocked out enemies. First of all, you couldn't even kill a spider. Didn't we just spend the last like 3 or 4 movies talking about how killing is bad and we should be better than that? His arm gets messed up during the Ministry heist because once again, he's a walking safety hazard. It always seems like this dude just can't do anything right and Hermione's always having to take care of him. And when he's wearing the Horcrux, he has his biggest meltdown. He puts it on, gets all moody, and suddenly he's mad that Harry and Hermione are spending too much time together. You know, planning to stop the guy that's ruining the wizarding world and killing people. And then he pulls out the line, "Your parents are dead."
Your parents are dead! You have no family!
And I already know people are gonna say, well, it's the Horcrux he was wearing around his neck. Nah, this is pure Ron energy. I'm convinced that he would have been upset even if he wasn't wearing that, because we've seen the maturity of this character throughout these movies. But he shows up later, saves Harry, he's useful there. I love the scene where he has to destroy the Horcrux, because it shows his worst fears. His 2 biggest fears are of course spiders, and watching his 2 friends hook up. That scene's always been uncomfortable for me because we just spent all these movies watching those 2 characters as kids, and now they're doing this shit. Also, Ron needs therapy. And to bring up his homicidal tendencies again, in part 2 when Draco's about to be burnt alive, Ron thinks they should just leave him behind and let him burn.
We can't leave them! He's joking, right?
You a piece of shit.
He's grown a lot throughout these movies, truly inspirational, and by the end he's suggesting that they keep the Elder Wand, the literal murder stick that's caused so many people to die, because he thinks the 3 of them could be unstoppable. Which I think is funny because he couldn't even manage his limp dick wand throughout the 2nd movie. Now, if they want to make 8 more Harry Potter movies where he's the villain, I'd be on board. So then we reach the epilogue where we see him and Hermione as a married couple with kids, which means they fucked.
It should have been me, not him! It's not fair!
And now there's more Weasleys in the world. But hey, at least we got to see one of the Weasleys get eliminated earlier, so yeah, I probably need therapy. What I learned from this rant is that I am a dedicated hater. And you know what? I'm okay with that. Maybe some of my hating is exaggerated, but that's the fun of it. I've just disliked this character for years, and you know the reasons. He's just a whiny character to me that stuffs his face with food, treats the girl that loves him like shit, and always gets himself injured. And for all those reasons, that's why I just can't stand him. I've even played Harry Potter D&D campaigns because I'm cool like that, where I go out of my way to make sure Ron dies in the game.
As a school treat, Ronald Weasley
Has been destroyed.
It improves the story and makes for a fun campaign. What are your thoughts on this character? Are you a fan of him? And if so, why? I really need to know because I think I have problems. So, yeah. Bye!